What's up, everybody? Welcome back to College to the People, the channel on YouTube dedicated to giving you realistic, informative, practical advice to help get you to wherever it is that you want to go. My name is Miss Astrid. I am a professional college counselor, and I'm here today back with another video of a topic that I think is super interesting and important to talk about, which is this. What are the main differences between community college, ta-da, and a four-year college or university? Ta-da! Let's go. The first difference that I want to talk about between a community college and a four-year school is that community colleges are what are called open enrollment or open admission schools. This means that the only thing that you need to get into a community college is a high school diploma or a GED. And if you're trying to take classes for fun and not take classes for credit, which we'll talk about later, then a lot of community colleges don't even need you to have that. But if you're going there for the reason of transferring to a four-year school later on, or you're going there to finish a certification program or an associate's degree or potentially even some trade programs, then the only thing they want from you is to fill out a free application online and either send them your GED or your high school diploma. That's it. Open admissions mean that they're not looking for a minimum GPA. They don't need you to have scored a certain amount on your ACT or SAT or IB or whatever other exam that you might have taken in high school, which is a great and beautiful thing. Now, although you're not required to send in test scores necessarily, just know that you absolutely can and should send in test scores if you did well. So if you scored well on your ACT or SAT or any other standardized exam, absolutely send in those scores so that they see what score you got, and depending on that will place you in the correct level of English and math and any other relevant classes you might have to take. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some four-year schools that are also open admissions and open enrollment, but there's not that many and it's not as common. Most four-year schools will say they want you to have a minimum GPA or minimum test scores, minimum requirements that they want you to have in order to get in. So if your grades were not that hot in high school or you didn't test as high, for example, then community colleges are a great way to kind of reset, start over, and boom, get it in college. But they're also a great option for people who did do really well in high school. So we will talk about that again a little later on. Number two, the second difference between community colleges and a four-year school is the cost. Now, there are certain four-year colleges and universities that are affordable, don't get me wrong, but almost always you will find that your local community college or any community college really around the country is going to be more affordable and is going to be cheaper than attending a four-year school. Why? Because they're community colleges. They're there for the community. They are there so that people, no matter what age or what they want to accomplish, what they want to study and do, are able to take advantage of that system and take classes there. Another reason why I love community colleges, you guys, I really love the community college system. I'm going to make a whole other video about why you should consider going to a community college no matter how amazing of a student or not so great of a student you were. But back to the second point, the cost. If you are looking for an affordable option, community college is the way to go. Now, if you want a four-year degree, okay, you can either choose to do all your 4 years at a four-year school all together in one place, or what you can do is attend community college for the first 2 years, take your general education requirements, and then transfer and do your last 2 years at the four-year college. The advantage of going to a community college first is that you're going to save a lot of money by going there for your first 2 years. Community colleges are affordable. You can still use financial aid at your community college. You can still use scholarships at your community college. So it's a really smart way to save money up front, or in general, for those who either are not in the best financial situation, or for those that are, but are just smart and don't want to maybe spend it all outright in all of your 4 years, okay? So cost is a big difference between the two. 3, the last difference that I really want to cover is what degrees and programs you can get out of going to a community college or going to a four-year school. The highest degrees that community college usually offer is associate's degrees. These are 2-year degrees. Now, a 4-year school instead, you will be able to get a bachelor's degree. And if you want to keep going, you can end up getting, a master's or a PhD, a law degree, a doctorate degree. So it depends what you want to do. But the main difference, I guess, to just keep things simple, is that 4-year schools will offer you bachelor's degrees, 4-year degrees, whereas the community colleges will offer you associate's degrees, which are 2-year degrees. What are the pros and cons? How do they differ? Associates of arts degrees are obviously shorter. They're half the time than a bachelor's degree. And for the most part, it really depends on what you want to do. Now, there are a lot of industries and a lot of jobs that now especially want students to get bachelor's degrees, but there are a lot of jobs and industries where an associate's degree is more than enough. How do you find out what you need for what you eventually want to do? Like I said in the video before, which I will link, which was covering how to choose a major, you want to work backwards. Look up current open positions in the job that you are interested in doing in the future on Indeed, on LinkedIn, on Google. For example, if you want to become an accountant, look up open positions for accountants in big companies or whatever it is, and look up underneath the job posting what degrees or certificates they want you to have in order to be able to apply and do that job. If they require minimum a bachelor's degree, then you're going to probably want to go for a 4-year degree. If they only require an associate's degree, then maybe going to community college and just doing 2 years is perfectly fine and more than enough for you. The beautiful thing about community colleges is that if you do the first 2 years there and you want to keep going, you have the option of transferring to a 4-year school and completing the last 2 years there in order to get your bachelor's degrees. And this is what we call a 2+2, meaning you do your first 2 years of general classes at the community college, and then you transfer to the 4-year school and you do your specific, major specific, more specialized courses your last 2 years to get a bachelor's, okay? The other great thing about community colleges is that you don't necessarily need to go there just to get an associate's degree. They offer a lot of different certificates, licensing program, trade programs. They offer a lot of really diverse and interesting classes. So whether you're going there just for fun or you're actually going there to complete a program, look at what options are available, because community colleges have a ton of different subjects that you can study and a ton of different options as far as different careers that they might help you get into. For example, if anyone is interested in becoming an EMT or a firefighter, that's usually something that's done at the community college level, and they get you in, they get you out, and they get you working, which is awesome. Another great thing about community college system that's different from a 4-year school is that you can take classes at the community college system for no credit. What does this mean? When you first apply to a community college, they will usually ask you on your application if you're interested in taking classes for credit or not for credit. The difference is that if you want to go to the community college in order to either transfer to a 4-year school or complete some type of program, whatever that is, you're going to want to take classes for credit, because that means that they're going to count. Those credits are going to count towards you completing that program. Now, if you want to just go for fun, which a lot of people do to learn a new skill, or they're interested in something, but you don't necessarily want to go to complete a program or to transfer, right? You're just doing and wanting to take classes for fun, then you can take classes for no credit, which means that you're not going to be receiving credit for those classes. And it's pretty much that, just doing it for fun. Whereas a 4-year school, any class that you register for the most part, is going to be counting towards credits. In conclusion, community colleges are an amazing way to learn, save money, get in, and really figure out what it is that you want to study. For students who are not really sure what it is that they want to get into, I think that starting at a community college is an amazing idea, because you have the ability to take a bunch of different classes and a bunch of different topics and save money while doing it, instead of potentially getting into a 4-year school but still not really being sure what you want to do. And I hate to use this word, but kind of wasting money and time and energy taking classes for a higher price that you might not have necessarily needed in the first place. So community college system, I love it. I love it. I personally went through the community college system. I went to a community college after high school. I stayed there for 2.5 years. I transferred to a 4-year school, and I loved my experience. I'm going to do a whole other video only specifically about community colleges and why I think they're amazing. I will never stop talking and promoting and encouraging students to check out the community college system, because it's smart. And we need to stop these stereotypes about community colleges being for losers or students that are not good or parking lots or just traps that you get stuck in, because that is not the case. So, in summary, number one, they're open enrollment. You can get in and get in easily. Number two, they are cheaper. And number three, they offer shorter and completely different types of programs than what four-year schools will offer you. So it really just depends what you want to do. If you have any questions at all about community colleges or community colleges versus four-year schools, drop a comment below, like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, this is College to the People. Take care of yourself and others. Thank you.